Marion going right to left now. Feeling Eddie in motion. He'll get the handoff and he'll get a couple of yards.
And it was Jameel Butler again on the tackle. The Norristown scheme, the 5-2 that they play, is played so that those linemen can completely hold off the offensive linemen. There's supposed to be no push up front, and then it's totally up to the linebackers, Jameel Butler and Lou Samba, to shoot the gaps and make the tackles. And so far, Jameel Butler has been doing that very well today.
So used to saying tonight,
even homecoming was a night game this year,
Yeah.
and that's a little different.
Bridge up the middle. Once again, he'll be close to the first down, leaving a 3rd and short. Like we said, for Upper Marion, 3-7 coming into this game. A 3-game losing streak to start your season, that'll sting a little bit. And then you win 3 games and you figure, okay, we finally have some momentum. Then you come out and you lose 4 straight to Quakertown, Penridge, Upper Moreland, and Methacton. And you think to yourself, what went wrong and how can we get back to what we did in the middle of the season?
Yeah, it really has been a season of ups and downs for them.
Handoff up the middle was to B.J. Bridge, and Norristown said no, stopping them.
And the key to the stop was low penetration. It was number 59 on the defensive line, Eric Benitez, leading the way. And then got a lot of help from the end, Mike Wilson. But with Benitez getting low, getting good penetration, stopped the movement of B.J. Bridges' legs. And that's where he's getting all that power from. So you can get low and hit him early. Norristown defense is going to swarm.
So now on the turnover, because of downs, Norristown will get the ball back. They have a timeout charge to Upper Marion, a little bit of confusion on their side.
As their defensive tackle, Andrew Hartwee, ran onto the field. It was certainly very late as Norristown was about to run their play. And Upper Marion was not set at all. Hartwee was the 11th player on that Upper Marion defense to come out. So with them being near midfield and not wanting to give up big play at this point,
hard to believe that Thanksgiving is only a week away. And the beautiful weather we have here today. Remember 2 years ago at Norristown PW game, the first one in their series, it was about 20 degrees and the wind was blowing ferociously. Punts were going up in the air and blowing backwards, and nobody was passing the ball because of all the wind, and it was one of the coldest days I can remember here at Roosevelt Field.
This game today has the feel of a neighborhood pickup game with a small crowd and the great weather. And like I said, no pressure outside of the rivalry.
Terrell is the man in motion. Swittenberg up the middle. He'll break a couple of tackles. He'll get about 8 yards on the carry. Knocked over his own lineman, Kirk Berry, to get where he wanted to. So 2nd and short now. Once again, 2 men in the backfield. Brian Gordon, the fullback now. Terrell in motion again. Swittenberg off the right side. Get himself a first down. Gets about 5 or 6. Taking people with him as he goes. Norristown now on the other side of midfield.
And Norristown on those last 2 plays is using the athletic guard, Kirk Berry, to lead Swittenberg on the right side, but Swittenberg is right up on Barry, and Barry's still looking for somebody to hit out front. Both of those plays, it's been nobody up there, and Swittenberg's been caught from behind as Barry's trying to find somebody to block.
Norristown's game plan has been very simple today. They have not put the ball in the air yet. Hand off again to Swittenberg. Fight through a couple of guys. The tackle right there by number 30, Matt Falcone. So he gets 4 or 5 on the carry. Troy Wittenberg racking up some pretty good yardage here in this first half. Like we said, with 2 games left, this one and of course the Thanksgiving Day game, Troy Wittenberg looks like he'll be repeating as champion in the yardage category of the area. Stewart now, he'll throw it out to Gordon. Gordon's got a first down. Tackle there by 25, Paul McVoy. However, Stewart rolls out to this side, finds a wide open Brian Gordon and a first down for Norristown.
And Arley Stewart had the option that time. He could have pulled it down if he needed to, but was patient enough to see Brian Gordon 5 yards downfield on the sideline, just tossed it to him, and Gordon made a nice catch, turned and ran straight down the sideline. So that play working exactly as designed.
Pitch to Swittenberg. He's got a lot of room on the outside. Turns the corner, gets himself a first down. Good run right there by Troy Swittenberg. A lot of room over there. Receivers looked like it was Edmonds over there blocking.
And it was almost Terrell again who led Troy Swittenberg to a touchdown. Terrell had his block locked up, and then as Swittenberg cut to the outside, Terrell turned his man to the inside. So Ernie Terrell, Norristown using the motion in this game and using Terrell's blocking skills to get Troy Swittenberg off the corner.
That's what's so important about having the 2 big receivers, Edmonds and Terrell. You can move your running backs to the outside because you know they'll be able to lock up some smaller defensive backs. Hand off to Swittenberg up the middle, and he is stopped. Pushed back right there by the defensive line of Upper Marion. Walt, the thing I just noticed about it being so quiet here today, being that very pickup game atmosphere, is that you can hear the smack of the pads every time somebody hits somebody out there. That's one of the sounds that reminds people of football, and that's the one that makes people really want to go out and play. Well, some people. Others would probably say, no, we'll leave some other people out there to do it. Stewart now looking to pass. He'll throw to Hadrick, and it's a touchdown. Great catch right there by Trey Hadrick. He had to go up and adjust a little bit to that ball, but a 9-yard touchdown strike from Stewart to Hadrick.
Make no mistake, that ball was exactly where Audley Stewart wanted it. He just looped it over the heads of the linebackers, knowing that Trey Hadrick is his big tight end. And Trey Hadrick, I'm sure they've worked on that with Audley Stewart to say, hey, just throw it up there. And as Trey Hadrick found some space right on the goal line, Stewart put it exactly where he wanted. That ball was not thrown high. That was the perfect place to put that ball.
Now Spitko for the extra point. A bad snap. Everything looked kind of confused there, but a good extra point. It's 14-0 Norristown about halfway through this second quarter. And well, that takes a little bit of pressure off of your quarterback, Audley Stewart. And of course, being a senior leader and really adjusting to this offense now and being in the system for many years, obviously Audley Stewart is not going to have the nerves that some quarterbacks would, or the nervousness, that some quarterbacks would have. But it's also nice to know that you can throw it up to some of those receivers and they can go up, adjust, and get it if you do happen to be off on that throw.
And that's what we've seen out of the Norristown passing game, particularly in the last few years with Chris Blake and now Audley Stewart, is confidence between the receivers and the quarterback. Now that may come from having 2 very, very good quarterbacks, guys who can really run an offense all over the whole field, just run every facet of the offense, and some great receivers. I mean, we have right now completions to Brian Gordon and Trey Hadrick, and Ernie Terrell and James Edmonds are fantastic receivers, probably 2 of the better receivers in the state. So whereas Ernie Terrell is being used to mostly block this year and actually this game in particular, Norristown offense is really showing their versatility and showing why they can beat some lesser teams, and that's the number of weapons they have.
James Edmonds was a first-team All-League receiver last year in the Suburban One National before Norristown did convert over. He was getting a lot of looks from a lot of colleges and still is because of his size. Of course, the great hands he has. Spicko's kick taken by the upman, Fiolenetti. He'll scramble out to about the 32-yard line. And like you said earlier, Walt, it's a nice game to play, and it's nice to play a couple of games after a tough playoff loss, because you can come out, you know, there's not the pressure of knowing that that playoff berth is lurking and knowing that you don't have a huge team coming up next week. You just know you can go out there and play and have fun and enjoy your last couple of games.
And especially for the seniors, you know, your friends can come watch you, and you don't have to go out with that bitter taste of the playoff loss.
Hand off to 25, Paul McVoy. He gets nothing. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage before that Norristown line pushed him back. Norristown defense doing a nice job. That running back coming off of the end, sweeping around. A nice job of staying in their lanes and making sure that that running back doesn't get big yardage.
And that is very important, because with a fullback like B.J. Bridge being their main weapon, you know it's going to be between the tackles most of the time. So the guys on the outside have to be very responsible, have to make sure that they're not trying to come in to the inside too early to help out on B.J. Bridge so that Upper Merion doesn't bounce outside for big yards.
Now the inside handoff to McVoy again. He'll get nothing right there.
And again, with a lot of movement on the Upper Merion offense, that was another case of Norristown holding their lane, staying in position, being responsible defensively. And that play is designed to really get the defense out of position. And if they don't get out of position, it's not a play that's going to go for big yards.
Now, I remember we mentioned it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess, during the Penridge game, that when you have an offense where you're running backs and fullbacks out of all different places, it's usually the sign that your offense is not as strong as you'd like it to be. And you had alluded to that earlier with Penridge's offense, where they run about 3 running backs from all different positions. And like you said, it's really to try and get the defense confused a little bit. Now the delayed handoff up the middle may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, 4th down. Upper Merion forced to punt once again. The defense playing well once again. They've had 2 performances this year that I would say that they'd not be happy with. A 28 put up against them from North Penn last week, and the 22-21 loss to Upper Dublin, of course. But despite those 2 losses and their 8 wins, they've only given up 14 points. Stewart now trying to get by a couple of guys, and it just won't happen. Great pursuit right there by the Upper Merion special teams.
And a lot of credit to Upper Merion, because that was a line drive kick, which amazingly Audley Stewart caught with his hands. But on a line drive kick, a good returner is going to have some time to come upfield. Upper Merion forced Stewart that time to run across the field and then just strung him out so he couldn't turn up.
Now from the 25, Audley Stewart will come back onto the field. It's tough to return a kick, and then you have to go in and call the play. So 1st down, backs in the eye. Hand off to Swittenberg, a lot of room up the middle. Splits a couple of tacklers, gets 9 or 10. Looks like he may have gotten the 1st down. Yes, they're calling it a 1st down. Another 10-yard run from Troy Swittenberg. Norristown offensive line doing a nice job today, opening some big holes for number 1. Another 1st down now. Terrell will go in motion to the far sideline. Handoff to Swittenberg, and there were a couple guys who knew what the play was. 30, Matt Falcone, and 78, Steve Gary were in on that tackle. Troy Swittenberg By the time he looked up when he realized he had the ball, saw two big Upper Merion players staring him right in the face.
And both were totally untouched, so there's nothing that Troy Schwittenberg could have done. Just looked like a play that Upper Merion called the better defensive play than Norristown's offensive play.
Also won, 2nd and 11 now. Stewart back to pass. Look out in the flat to Terrell. Can't get it out to him. Interesting play call there from Norristown. Not a ball where Audley Stewart has to plant and really, fire one into his receiver's chest. All he has to do is float that ball out, and unfortunately didn't connect right there.
Well, but the long out does have to be thrown with some velocity so that the receiver has some time to catch and turn upfield. It's a play that's obviously designed to be flat at the start, and then you use the good skills of your receiver. That's why that ball was thrown out to Terrell, and looked like he tried to turn up a little bit early.
So now 3rd and 11. Stewart will roll to this side. Eludes one tackler. Now he'll hold on to the ball, and he will get nowhere. He is getting pushed around. Nice job to elude Steve Gary. Unfortunately, he had 3 of his friends came along with him, and Stewart lost a couple of yards, 4th down.
And that one had to happen quickly, and it didn't. With Stewart rolling out, he had Ernie Terrell running a short post, and he had Bryden Gordon down the sideline. Terrell was open briefly, but running away from Audley Stewart. And once he got into trouble and had to make a couple guys miss, his receivers have to come back to him. And Gordon just sort of drifted down the sideline, and Ernie Terrell tried to come back to the near sideline, but didn't come back upfield to Audley Stewart, and really gave him nowhere to throw.
Now 4th down, Trey Hadrick will punt for Norristown. His first punt of the day. That's a big one from Hadrick. Send Matt Booker back. He has problems holding on to it. Try and get out to the other side. Who's the first man down there? The wide receiver, Ernie Terrell, to make the tackle, and Donovan Palmer also in on that. Good kick from Hadrick. Booker had some problems with it. That's always great to see, because you always see the receivers catching the ball, and they're the ones that have to, be tackled. Then they get stuck on special teams, and they think to themselves, now I know how tough it is.
That also gives them a chance to deliver some hits, which I'm sure they enjoy, especially when it's a defensive back returning the kick.
A little bit of revenge factor right there. Bridge up the middle, nothing doing. I want to see who the brave gentleman was who tackled him right there. Looks like it might have been 25, Terry Powell. There's a bit of a size difference over there on that side. Terry Powell just wrapped him up and said, well, you're not going forward. I'll just wait till you go down. (14-0) with just over 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Upper Merion starting from the 30-yard line. Bridge is the man in motion to the outside. Boyd back to pass, finds Bridge. Tackled out there by Samba and Stewart. 5 or 6 yards. First pass attempt of the game by Jeremy Boyd that goes for successful yardage and actually worked.
Interesting play that time. You had your fullback, your 250-pound fullback in motion, split out wide. And you had your 180-pound defensive end out wide like a corner covering him. So Terry Powell must be thinking, can you get me away from this guy?
Sure, there'll be a lot of ice for him at the end of this game. Now the McVoy over to the far side, and he will not get to the first down marker. And Norristown is going to call a timeout to stop the clock. With 1:06 left in the first half, they have some time to maybe put more points on the board. So the punt units for both teams will come onto the field. We don't know who the winner of the Abington Heights Hazleton game was, but that will be the team from District 1 will be facing in the state semifinals. I guess that'll be, or excuse me, the Eastern semifinals. And of course, even if your team does not make it in District 1, District 1 has always been known for great sports, and they're great teams in any sport. And it's always nice to see a representative go from there and be very successful.
And if there's a chance for success, it's obviously going to be riding with CV West. I think the whole state knows who they are now.
Punt was almost blocked there. Preet will make the catch, and he is hit hard about the 34-yard line. I think he's thinking about that a little bit and saying, should have raised the arm. He was stuck by the first two men down there from Upper Marion. So now with under a minute, Norristown will have to go about 75 yards, or 65, excuse me.
It's good to see Audley Stewart coming back out onto the field. After that third down defensive play, Stewart limped off the field. But now jogging back onto the field. Looks like he's okay. Going to be able to finish the half and maybe go in, rest that injury, get some treatment, and come back out strong in the second half.
Norristown in the shotgun now. First time we've seen this for a long time. Pass to James Edmonds, and he'll get about 5 yards. Clock keeps running, however.
Yeah,
Norristown will have to call a timeout.
And Roger Grove is hot, and he should be. James Edmonds turned inside that time when all that play is designed to do is get you 5 or 6 yards and you hop out of bounds. You're not going to turn upfield, as great as James Edmonds is, and break anything down in this area of the field. So the play worked exactly as it should have, except that James Edmonds turned back inside instead of hopping outside.
Maybe trying to create a little bit more than that there was on that play.
Exactly. The play is not designed to do that, not in that case. That's why Norristown went to the shotgun. It looked like they were going to a quick strike offense. It eliminates the need for a drop back by using the shotgun. So Audley Stewart just takes the handoff, sets himself, fires out to the sideline. You get quick 5 or 6 yards and you get out of bounds. Play takes about 3 seconds and you've moved the ball a little bit upfield. And Norristown now having to use a timeout, I'm sure will have to change their entire strategy about how they're planning to advance this ball upfield and possibly get some points before the half ends.
Second and 5 from the 40-yard line. Norristown overloading this side with 4 receivers. Hadrick, Terrell, Preet, and Swittenberg on this side. Edmonds over on the far sideline. And they'll look to Edmonds. He's fighting, and he will get out of bounds right there.
And that wasn't that wasn't Mike Gallagher chasing him out of bounds that time. That was Roger Grove chasing James Edmonds out of bounds, because I'm sure he heard about it in that timeout. And we've seen Norristown do that before. You load the one sideline with your 4 receivers, brings everybody over this way, and that puts your best receiver, James Edmonds, one-on-one on the other side. Nice pickup by Norristown that time, got a crucial first down.
Stewart out of shotgun once again. Quick pass out to Swittenberg. He'll go immediately to the far sideline, or to this sideline. Get it out of bounds. Does not get the first down, but still picking up pretty good yardage. Give him about 8 on the attempt.
That's a play that you can only run with a quarterback who has a very strong arm, such as Audley Stewart. Such a long throw over to the sideline, not picking up any yards. The idea is for your receiver, in this case it was the back split out wide, Troy Swittenberg, to catch and follow some blockers upfield, obviously along the sideline. If it takes a long time to float that ball over there, they're going to converge very quickly. So Audley Stewart just has to turn and fire that ball to the sideline and let Troy Swittenberg do the rest of the work.
32 seconds left in this half. 43 yards to go for Norristown. Once again, they overload one side. Stewart looking to that sideline, the pump fake. He was looking to go deep to Edmonds, and now he'll run the ball, and he'll get out of bounds.
As long as he can pick up positive yardage on that play, that's a smart decision. You don't even want to take the time to throw that ball downfield. The time is 4 or 5 seconds it's going to take. which are very crucial when you only have 24 seconds left. So Audley Stewart just pulled it down, not, of course, risking the interception, and picked up a few yards. Actually, 8 yards, so a significant gain.
Stewart looking to Swittenberg once again. They'll get a first down. Swittenberg will get out of bounds. So doing it about 5 or 6 yards at a time. But look where 5 or 6 yards at a time has gotten them, down to the 30-yard line.
And don't be surprised if one of these times out of this formation, it goes to the other sideline to James Edmonds. You might see that down near the goal line. But obviously Norristown's going to keep it in the air and over to the sideline so as not to run the clock out by staying on the ground.
Bad snap to Stewart. Now he'll have to elude one man. He's looking and he'll just run it out of bounds. The bad snap right there really did get to Stewart. So he couldn't really start that play as quickly as he wanted to. A couple of defenders got through. It looked like number 44. We don't have that gentleman on our roster, but he got through there and really pressured Stewart, and he had to elude him.
And every play on this drive has been based on timing, and particularly when you're running that shotgun style offense. So a bad snap, even though it's not on the ground, but even something that's not directly back and in the air a little bit, is going to throw off the timing of that kind of play.
Of course, out of the shotgun, anytime that you have to run the ball, you're probably going to, the quarterback's got to run the ball, probably going to have to lose some yardage, and they did on that play. So 2nd and 16 now. Stewart out to Preet this time. He'll throw to Terrell. Got him. Touchdown. Very creative play from the Norristown offense right there. Ricky Preet throws himself about a 30-yard ball down to Ernie Terrell. He gets into the end zone. 20-0 Norristown. Walt, what can you say about that play?
It was a beautiful throw by Ricky Preet. Absolutely a perfect throw. And Norristown had obviously been setting that up the whole time. And Upper Merion should have realized something was going on once that ball comes out to Ricky Preet, because he's not the guy you're going to throw to get the yardage like they've been throwing to Troy Swittenberg. In that case, it was designed to do just that, and Norristown had set them up throughout that whole drive. Congratulations to Ricky Preet for a great throw, and the Norristown coaches for a great call there and a great call on that series.
Spigo's extra point is up and good. Well, Audley Stewart's a senior. Ricky Preet's a junior. Norristown doesn't have a quarterback set for next year. I know he's a good receiver, but after looking at that ball, I might think about it a little bit.
I might take the offseason to develop that aerial attack, because that was a beautifully thrown ball and dropped right into Ernie Terrell's breadbasket.
You know, there's 4 guys over on that sideline, and each one of them's probably thinking, man, why can't I be the one to throw the touchdown pass? And of course, with 4 seconds left now, Norristown will probably kick the ball on the ground. But a great strike before the half ends. A nice job by that offense. They had under a minute to convert right there. They used all of that minute to make sure that, you know, they ran a smart drive. And really give credit to Norristown coaches for calling really, really good plays right there. Now Spico to kick off with 4 seconds left. Kick is along the ground. Upper Merion falls on that one. Their offense will come on the field for 1 play. The coaches have got to be happy with the way Norristown's come out today. You know, we mentioned the tough loss last week, and it's tough to get, you know, fired up when you look into the crowd and there's not that many people there. But to come out and put 21 points up in the first half and keep the other team scoreless, you can't ask much more out of Norristown players.
And you know it had to be a tough week of practice. I mean, you know, you have to think, well, what am I even preparing for? But the execution has been tremendous. So obviously the practices have gone well this year, or this week.
3 receivers to the far sideline. Boyd, he'll throw one up in the air, and yeah, that's going to be an interception for number 2 Sheldon Gray. Not exactly a Hail Mary play right there. But after one half of football, Norristown up 21-0, dominating this first half of play. We'll be back in just a moment for third. Welcome back to Roosevelt Field, ladies and gentlemen. Third quarter action right here. Norristown up 21-0 after one half of great football. Of course, being capped off by that great pass from Ricky Preet to Ernie Terrell for the touchdown. Well, Norristown's dominated a 3-7 Upper Marion team. Upper Marion looked like they had a little, they had a little bit of momentum earlier in the game, a couple of nice drives. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it going.
Well, they had a couple drives, but what wound up happening was that Upper Marion just sort of ran out of weapons. For a while, Norristown let them run the ball a little bit, and as Upper Marion was just trying to find their way on offense, Norristown was trying to figure out exactly what their defense would need to do. And then Upper Marion never changed. And, the question is, do they have the weapons to change? So Norristown figured out what they were doing, and now it's been pretty much all Norristown.